Yes, a wonderful day. My name is Brian. This is Brianetic Sports, and every single week we find something to give you in the world of sports. Of course, yes, I have to remind you that for you to help this community grow, you need to subscribe, share this video, as well as comment for me to know what you're thinking. It's another new video, and of course, there's been a lot of talk, especially from the previous videos where we talk about Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, and how they're preparing for the African Cup of Nations 27. And there's also been a fight online of what country seems to be better. I don't know why we keep on having these issues of what country we think is better than the other. I entirely don't want to go into that argument. In the basic kind of border talk that everyone comes up with, not disrespecting of course the border guys, but of course they we usually call it border talk because it's the talk of town. Today I'm here to give you a few things to show you how these countries are compared to each other and what they are up to, especially when you look at the development and comparison between the three countries. And of course you all know that Kenya, in the stadiums and facilities, they look so much better now with the Talanta Sports City Stadium that is being constructed. It's a 60,000 capacity stadium, and already the Kalasarani, that is a stadium. I got it wrong the last time I said it. It's also under renovation. I've seen pictures of how things are going in there. It looks beautiful, and it looks like it's also going to be a better stadium. The nearest stadium is also under renovation, though, of course, the nearest stadium is a little bit of a lower capacity stadium. Both are located all the way in Nairobi, and of course, they are going to be expected to host the 2027 African Cup of Nations. And of course, there's also around these stadiums, the beauty about it is that they've constructed the Nairobi Expressway, which has also improved access to most of the stadiums, and it looks more all set as compared to the other countries. In Uganda, here, I think one of the other things that we can look at is that the three stadiums that are going to be hosting the African Cup of Nations, including the Hoima City Stadium. Already, I showed you a video of the progress of how things are happening. On the other side, I also showed you how the likes of there was talk of the Akibwa Stadium being constructed, but of course, the construction works have not begun yet. We are waiting to see how they are going to be getting on, but we are already on track because all you need is to have two stadiums. Of course, we said three, but the requirement for CAF is six stadium, which means that if there are three nations, at least two from each nation would really matter. In there, the training facilities are under construction here in Uganda, the Chambogo one, and all the others. We're expecting them to be ready. With the way things happening in there. And of course, with Uganda, they also new innovation is that around the Hoima stadium, the difference between Kenya and Uganda is that most of the stadiums are around Nairobi, and in Uganda here, the stadiums are a little bit, distributed into the different parts of the country. So Hoima is all the way in the western part of Uganda there, but there is an international airport that is already under construction, and it's already under phase one is at something like 95% already confirmed by the people that are really running the show. They've confirmed that over 95% of the first, phase is already done, which includes having, of course, the cargo planes coming and landing. Phase two is about the passengers now, and I believe that phase two will cater for the African Cup of Nations. So there is nothing like you needing to drive all the way to Hoima. That might take you over 7 or 8 hours, which I think is a better way to at least improve the accessibility of the stadium, and of course the Akibua one as well. We also know that there's also an airstrip all the way above there, so it's not going to be a priority to construct a new international airport there, but we have already here in Uganda. That is the Entebbe International Airport. In Tanzania, we have the National Stadium in Dar es Salaam, and of course, it's the primary facility, and of course, the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium is what we are talking about, and it's one of the few highly anticipated venues because of the way it has been taking on the Simba games all the way in Tanzania, as well as their rivals in there. So it is one of the already almost finished stadium, though of course improvements have been on, but it looks already unset. And of course you can compare it to Nambole Stadium, because both stadiums are really look like all set. It's just renovating them and keeping them up to the standard. So that is also another beautiful thing from that is Sarab, Tanzania. But we all know that there is a new stadium that is being built. It's a 60 capacity stadium, and we are waiting to see how it will be looking. But it's also another great stadium that is also under construction. So, stadium wise, I believe that when you rate all the three nations, I think according to the infrastructure, Kenya looks a little bit more better off when it comes to these stadiums, if at all they get finished and they are all done. Tanzania looks also to have better facilities. And then Uganda, to me, of course, we shall be having Hoima Stadium. That is very good. But the capacity, of course, Kenya one will be a little bit bigger. That we're waiting to see how things will be transferred. Then on the other side, we look at the support infrastructure. That includes roads, that includes the railway systems. And for, of course, Kenya, if you've noticed that Kenya looks all set, it has the standard gauge railway that is already underway. And to me, they really look better off when it comes to that. Them and Tanzania have already the project of the standard gauge railway already in place. They have that one that connects Mombasa to Nairobi, as well as to Naivasha, and it does things like cargo and transit, of course, from the different areas a little bit easier. It is one of the few things that is happening. I told you about the Nairobi Expressway. That is also helping to ease congestion, as well as supporting logistics and urban mobility in there. You can also look at Uganda as well and say that we are not developed anyway in the railway transport already. Of course, they are thinking of the standard gauge railway already. A 3 billion deal that has been struck between Uganda and a Turkish company called Yapi Mackenzie. It's going to be beginning the construction of the 272-kilometer SGR line that will connect Kampala to Malaba. And of course, it's going to be enhancing the connectivity of the different East African nations. But it is something that is not already, in place. So we cannot say that Uganda there are competing with Kenya, because Kenya look better off and they're all set even with Tanzania. On the other side, when you ask me about air transport, I think Uganda in that sector are really lagging behind. You compare them and all the other nations, because Uganda has only one international airport already. The other international airport which is being constructed is Hoima International. You can call it the Kabalega International Airport. We only have, I think, a few airstrips around that are hoping, of course, support. We have Arua Airport, we have Guru Airport, Soroti, Kasese, and Moyo. All those are just smaller airports that have small capacity. And when you look at the airlines that are run on those airports, you will really, really be disappointed in there. Entebbe airport has over 23 airlines that are really more. There might be a little bit more, but at least by the time of this report, 23 of them are really taking shape. When you compare that to Kenya, that is in Kenya we have 23, a fleet of just the national carriers, that is Kenya Airways. They have over 38 of them, and of course, when you look at the airport, they have over 7 or 8, and I think there are more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, over 14 airports, where we have the Jomo Kenyatta Airport, we have the Moi International Airport, we have the Kisumu International Airport, as well as the Eldoret International Airport. So they look more set there. They have a better air carrier kind of like base in there. Of course, when you compare that to the other airstrips as well, including the Wanjul, the Eastlo, the Manda airstrip, the Ukunda airstrip as well. There's one in Malindi, Wilson as well. And in Uganda here, you look at our airline, that is Uganda Airlines. I think we have a fleet of just a few of them, not so many. We have the last time I checked, we have 6 of them. And when you compare to Kenya, they have 38 of them. and then they have other carriers like the Safari Link, the Mombasa Air Safari, and all the others that are also adding on to the fleet of the airlines that are run in the different international airports in there. And when you look at how much airlines use these these airports, you'd really be surprised when you compare that to Uganda. So air transport wise, I think Kenya are really doing better. So when we are looking at all these three nations and we are looking at how they are going to be at least hosting these international games and hosting all the African countries in here, I think, to me, Kenya look all better and set when you compare to already the infrastructure that is there. In fact, even when you look even at their economy, you can say that Kenya are looking more better in their GDP and all the other indexes that are really given there to show at least how a country is really developed. I think Kenya are a little bit more better than all the other two countries because of their economy. But Tanzania really not lagging so much behind. Uganda really in this race, I don't really think we can compare Uganda to Kenya in the GDP as well as the economy and all that stuff. Even the currency itself, the Kenyan currency really looking better and doing better as compared to that. Even infrastructure wise, Uganda, I think really we don't have a straight plan when it comes to infrastructure. We are starting now to develop something better. I think in the next video, I'll be telling you how we are really reinvesting in sports and all that stuff. But when you compare the to countries like Kenya that have also had issues, because I remember Kenya was even banned a few years back by FIFA because of government interferences. They've had their own internal issues when it comes to football and all the other sports disciplines, but they are doing better. I have not even talked about the other sporting disciplines. So I think the next video I'll be comparing the other sporting disciplines vis-a-vis football to see how the other countries rank. But at the moment, when you compare Kenya, Tanzania, and all the other nations infrastructure-wise, though Uganda looks like they have a very standard stadium already where Kenya was hosted, but it doesn't mean that it's the whole story. The whole story is Kenya really developing at high speeds because of the bigger the economy, and then also they are better than us in a lot of so many things. The only thing I think we are better than them, we believe in ourselves a little bit more. Ugandans are very straightforward people. They come out and they say we are better, even if we are not better. And sometimes when someone tells you I'll beat you, and even if you're stronger than them, there is a fear factor that comes into your mind. So I think most of the nations around us, even if we're a landlocked country, of course, our economy going to be boomed by all the oil that is coming in. Of course, the oil refineries that are being built. Uganda will be getting better, but of course, we are lacking the seaport. So we are a landlocked country. Even the finance that comes in from having harbors and all that stuff, sometimes it's something that we cannot compete with Kenya as well as Tanzania. So all in all, it's not about who's better. It's about how we utilize everything that we have around us. But when the talk comes in and we really have to discuss who really comes better when it comes to infrastructure, I think in this video, Kenya is ranked number one, Tanzania is ranked number two, and Uganda not lagging too behind, but I think we are getting there with time that is passing by. Thank you so much for being part of this. My name is Brian. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Have yourself a good day. Bye-bye.